Hi, I'm Andy Davies for eat3d.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to be taking you through how to set up ZBrush so we can extract some high-res MatCaps that we can then export and use in Blender. I can't take full credit for this method as the technique's been around for a while, but it was most recently brought to my attention on a thread in blenderartist.org. I'm going to be using Blender 2.5 for this tutorial, though the techniques are compatible with 2.49. You can get Blender 2.5 from blender.org. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing that we want to do to make our MatCaps usable within Blender is to change the document properties in ZBrush. At the moment we have this big gradient here which will cause no end of problems when we want to do a selection in Photoshop. And also the aspect ratio isn't square, and ideally we do want it square. So to do this you go up to the document here and you want to uncheck constrain proportions, because otherwise it will constrain the aspect ratio to whatever numbers you type in here. We want to change this to something more usable, say 1024 by 1024. You can have this higher if you want, but for this example this is fine. To get rid of the gradient you've got to move the range slider all the way to the left, which will get rid of that. And you want to make a nice selection color. So you just click the back button here, which will fill the document with the background color that you have selected at the bottom. And then we click resize. Okay, and then we want to zoom out, and you see there we've got our 1024 by 1024 document filled with white. Okay, next we need something to capture our MatCap from, so we need to go to our simple icon here and select Sphere 3D. Now we want to make this a polymesh 3D, and we want to draw it into the center of our canvas. I'm using the sides as a reference here because the sphere is symmetrical. You want to use as much space as you can. That looks about right. And you want to hit T straight away, so you go into edit mode and rotate it downwards, so the poles are at the top. I just want to center it a little more. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we want to increase the resolution of this, because otherwise you will see all the faceted edges. And so to do this we go to geometry and then hit divide up to about 1 or 2 million polys is fine. So it's nice and smooth. Okay, and what we do next is we want to pick our matte capture that we're going to use in Blender. And to do this, just go over to material here, and you notice there's a lot of MatCaps. You might not have some of them, but you can download everything here from the ZBrush site. There's some really, really cool ones, but for this example I'm just going to use the MatCap Red Wax, the standard. Now we want to capture this and make it into a texture. So to do this we just click texture here, and there's a little button called grab doc. We press that and that will capture the entire document and make it into a texture, which is right there. And to export this, just go to texture, click export, and we just want to call it Red Wax, and just click no. And we want to open our exported PSD, and there we have our capture. And I've noticed when you use the grab doc, sometimes it gives this black line across the top and the bottom. I'm not really sure why. To save problems, we'll just delete it by making a selection. And then pressing Control and Backspace, which will fill it with white. And now it's gone. We just want to promote the background layer here. And then we want to select our Magic Wand tool and select the white area. Now if we add a mask now, it will delete the actual MatCap, so we need to invert the selection by pressing Ctrl Shift I and then adding our mask, and there is our MatCap. We don't really need the mask after this, so we can click Apply Layer Mask. Now we want to create a background which is around the same sort of colour as the MatCap. So we're going to create a new layer, and then we want to go to our eyedropper and change the sample size to pretty high, and just want to get an average colour, and then we need to fill our background with it. And we're going to drag this underneath, and there we have our MatCap. Now we need to create an alpha channel for this, so just press Control and then left click, and it will make a selection around our MatCap, and then just click this little button here, which will create an alpha channel. We're going to save this as a target. So we need to go all the way down to target and then just save it as that. and it'll ask us if you want to save it as 32 bits. Now 32 bits means with an alpha as well, 24 bits is without, so just click OK. Okay, now we need to open Blender and make a new scene. I'm just going to use Suzanne and rotate her so she's facing the front, and just put smooth shading on, and then go up to the modifier stack and add a couple of iterations of subsurf so she's nice and smooth so we can see the full benefits of our matte cap there. Now to create a new material in Blender, you just need to click this little material icon here and then click add new, and we want this to be shadeless, so we just click this little shadeless button here. If you see where it says it makes this material insensitive to light or shadows, so no lights will affect Suzanne at this point, which is exactly what we want. Now we need to add our matte cap, so we just need to go up to the little texture icon here and click new, and where it says type, just go up to image or movie and then click open, which is down the bottom here, and then we need to navigate to our folder where we've saved our matte cap. So there we are, open that up. Now if we go to the textured view here, it doesn't actually show up, and this is because the real-time viewport rendering is set incorrectly. Now to change that, we just need to click this little plus icon here and then scroll down, and where it says shading, just go to GLSL, and there's our texture shows up, and it looks a bit funky at the moment, and that's because the mapping coordinates are set incorrectly. So we just need to scroll down here, and where it says coordinates, we just need to go to normal, and there we have our newly created map cap in Blender.